Sri Lanka will celebrate its 64th independence anniversary in a few days.
In the run-up to Independence Day, News First will take you back in history to identify the heroes who fought for independence and their battlefields with the intention of educating the younger generation on how this proud day came about.
To the heroes, some of whom even sacrificed their lives for our freedom, knowing well that the shots fired by the conquerors at their hearts cannot be stopped by their swords and spears, this salute is to you.
As the sun dawns on Independence Square each morning, it bears testament to the many heroes who fought and created the pathway for it to be built. Tonight, on the first of our forays into the struggle for independence, we look at what took place in the Central Hills. Our first sojourn is to the court of the king at the Royal Palace in the Central Hills. Numerous records suggest that subsequent to the passing of King Rajadi Rajasingha, power fell to the nobles made up of the Radalas and the Nayakars. As a result of the conflict between these two groups, through the influence of the Mahadikari of Pilimatalauva, Kannasamy was crowned king instead of the rightful heir Muttusamy. He took the name of Sri Vikrama Rajasingha. The main turning point in the Radala problem, to which the fall of the kingdom is attributed, is Ahalepola. We journeyed to the Kandy prison to view the Ahalepola Walauwa. The problem started with the Mahadikari of Pilimatalauva.
It was Pilimatalauva that helped anoint King Sri Vikrama Rajasingha to the throne, and in the end Pilimatalauva was executed. It is in this backdrop that there was an internal power struggle in the upcountry kingdom.
The king conferred the title of Second Adhikari on Molligoda, who was a foe of Ahalepola, and made use of both of them, giving more privileges to Molligoda. In the insecure climate that ensued, Ahalepola sought refuge with the English and met Governor Robert Brownrigg at the governor's house in Mount Lavinia. Meanwhile, up in the hills, the king brutally put to death Ahalepola's wife and his 3 children while witnessing the deed from the balcony, which we can see from here. With Ahalepola's assistance, the English managed to do what the Portuguese and the Dutch before them could not do, and captured the hill country. Tomorrow on our special segment, we look at the agreement which lost us our freedom.
One may be surprised to hear that elephants, an extraordinary gift of nature to this country, are facing a scarcity of food that seems to have reached crisis proportions. A picture, they say, speaks 1,000 words, and these visuals surely speak a lot more. These majestic elephants that have foraged in our forests since time immemorial seem to have no other option but to change with the times and opt for fast food. The elephants have been forced into this predicament due to the scarcity of food in their dwindling habitats owing to deforestation.
Min area has been a traditional habitat for elephants. However, garbage collected by the Higuragoda Pradesh Sabha is being dumped at the Min area Forest Reserve over a period of time. Since elephants have got used to consuming this garbage, it has posed a threat to several nearby villages. Villagers in Min area, Samagipura, Henyaya, Pataoya and Pasiyavava are facing many hardships as a result of elephants storming their villages.
The main reason for this is that garbage is being dumped by the Higuragoda Pradesh Sabha at this location. This has become a threat to around 6,000 villagers.
When we ask for crackers to drive away these elephants, they give just 2 to 3 crackers. When that is over, elephants storm the village yet again. We urge the authorities to provide us with an electric fence. Farmers say that cultivations are also being destroyed by the hungry elephants. We contacted the chairman of the Higuragoda Pradeshya Sabha in this regard.
Garbage collected by this Pradeshya Sabha has been dumped at this location since 1991. We have taken steps to remove it from that place. Moreover, we have taken measures to join hands with the Madhurigiri Pradeshya Sabha and to recycle garbage under the Pilisaru project. We are hoping to stop dumping garbage at the Min Area Forest Reserve by the end of February.
What were the proposals forwarded by the United National Party Democratic Group to the All-Party Representatives Committee? Our special segment 13 Plus takes a look.
The United National Party, which participated in the All-Party Representatives Committee, did not submit any proposals on the assumption that a set of proposals would be first submitted by the government. However, the proposal presented by the United National Party Democratic Group incorporated several key points. One aspect of the proposal was state sovereignty and the public. It was proposed to accept the identity of various ethnic groups residing in Sri Lanka without tarnishing the Sri Lankan identity. System of governance. It was proposed that if the executive presidency is to exist, then it must be made responsible to Parliament, and a mechanism should be established to ensure peaceful coexistence in the event the President and the Prime Minister are from two different parties. The group also proposed to change the electoral system to a mixture of the first past and the post system and proportional representation. Safeguarding the supremacy of the constitution were some of the proposals made by the United National Party Democratic Group. The group also suggested safeguard against attempts at secession. Proposals were made for adequate clauses to be incorporated in the constitution to prevent the forming of a separate state. If the sovereignty, territorial integrity and unity of the state is threatened, then provision was to be made to formulate laws to prevent such threats. Under the aspect of power sharing, the group highlighted proposals such as accepting the need for a strong program on power sharing and agreeing to a proposal to establish an eminent committee of councillors through a broad-based power sharing system, and vesting power in the Senate Council to act on specific constitutional matters. The group also identified the province as the basic unit of power devolution. The group proposed that any solution brought forth to resolve the ethnic problem should involve the Tamil community and other minorities in the country while not compromising the existing constitution. The group suggested maintaining two lists of devolved subjects for the provincial councils and the central government and to do away with the common list. Incidentally, around this time, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, which participated in the dialogue, decided to boycott the talks. The JVP criticized the activities of the All-Party Representatives Committee and the Advisory Committee. A detailed report on the contents of the letter sent by JVP leader Somawansa Amarasinghe to the President, spelling out the reasons for the boycott, will be featured on tomorrow's edition of 13 Plus.
An American investment company named International Executive Service Co. states that Sri Lanka is one of the best places in the world for investment. The International Executive Service Co. of America signed a landmark agreement with the American Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka recently.
A media briefing was held in Colombo today regarding the agreement that was signed between the American Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka and the International Executive Service Corps of America. Speaking at the briefing, President of the American Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka, Vijay Ratnayaka, stated that assistance will be provided to several investment projects in Sri Lanka through this agreement, which would also offer an opportunity to uplift the country's economy. The Vice President of the International Executive Service Corps of America, Charles Conconey, elaborated on why investors should choose Sri Lanka.
And I think there are really four things that come to my mind as to why U.S. companies are and should be interested in Sri Lanka right now. Sri Lanka has broken into the top 5. I think it was 4th in terms of the fastest growing economies in the world this year. And there were some estimates that it could go as high as 2 next year. Second, to be completely honest, returns on investments in the U.S. right now are pretty abysmal. So Sri Lanka is looking really good. The third is, as we mentioned before, the exchange rate restrictions have been loosened. So that's why we're here at all. That's why OPEC is suddenly taking more interest in Sri Lanka. And the fourth, frankly, I mean, there are myriad other reasons, but these are the big 4 for me. The beauty, the friendliness, the ease of operating here, the way to work here.
The Deputy Director of Search Operations at the Ministry of Fisheries informed Action TV that the Sri Lankan High Commission in South Africa was working through the Ministry of External Affairs with regard to the 6 Sri Lankan fishermen who are being held captive by Somali pirates. He stated that the ministry has taken all steps to secure the release of these fishermen, adding, however, that the government has no intention of paying the ransom being demanded by the pirates. Yesterday, Action TV revealed the gruesome fate that awaits these fishermen if the government does not take speedy steps to secure their release. This was considering the threats leveled by the pirates during phone calls to the owner of the boat. The pirates are demanding a ransom of $6 million for the release of these fishermen. The pirates have notified the owner of the vessel and the families of the fishermen that if this ransom is not received by Friday, the fishermen will be put to death. Driven to despair, the families turned to the gods to secure the release of their breadwinners. The families of the 6 fishermen participated in these religious observances